Lake Tahoe is famous for two things: being very big and very blue. Blue because Tahoe holds some of the purest lake water on Earth, but we can't take it for granted. Today, the purity of Tahoe's water is under constant threat, a threat that's easy to miss unless you look deeper.
But we're concerned. It's a new aquatic invasive species.
Dennis Zabaglo is in charge of managing invasive species for the bi-state Tahoe Regional Planning Agency. We took to the water looking for Tahoe's newest invader, which is only as big as a grain of rice. These little spots dotting the sand off the shore of South Lake Tahoe are snails. They come from a different hemisphere, New Zealand mud snails.
Unfortunately, with New Zealand mud snails, there's not a recognized control method to treat them.
When the snails first showed up in the lake last year, we explained how the little trap door in their bodies allows them to survive being eaten alive by fish and birds. Whenever a new critter moves into Lake Tahoe, it messes up the food chain, and it can add nutrients into the lake water. Algae is already growing more easily in Lake Tahoe thanks to a warming climate. Invasive species only make it worse. And if you get enough algae, a blue lake turns green.
From an ecological standpoint, they're bad, but also from a tourism and recreation experience, they're very bad as well.
On top of being tiny and resilient, the mud snails can also reproduce asexually, making clones of themselves. Now that they're here, there's no way to get them out of Tahoe. The best case scenario is
to contain where they are. So if you come off the lake with your paddlecraft or even your motorized boat, you want to clean, drain, and dry after you leave the lake as well, so you're not spreading them to the next water body you might visit.
Clean, drain, and dry is already a mantra at Lake Tahoe. Boat inspections have been mandatory since 2008, designed to keep out another invader.
We've already had at least 17 boats with quagga mussels this year come from various locations: Southern California, Southern Nevada, Southern Arizona, Lake Powell, Southern Utah.
Quagga mussels are native to Ukraine. They've caused untold millions of damage, spreading through lakes around the US over the past 2 decades. Whenever there's water still in the engine or hull of a boat that shows up for inspection, it gets decontaminated.
We fire this up, it's using on-demand hot water heaters, raising it to 120 to 140 degrees, and we're flushing that area out to make sure whatever's in there is dead.
16 years in, boaters are used to paying their fees and getting their Tahoe tags, but they're still pulling into temporary cleaning stations. That's about to change. Permanent inspection stations are being placed on both the California and Nevada sides of Lake Tahoe in the name of keeping new invaders out. Back on the water, our boat pulls into an iconic place, Tahoe's most photographed spot. One of Tahoe's earliest invaders has hit Emerald Bay hard, over and over again. Invasive underwater weeds carpeting the lake bottom.
The initial effort was 6 acres, and that took about 4 years, and this smaller was 2 years.
Because it kind of came back. Like crabgrass.
Yeah, we didn't have the money to keep surveying it.
Each acre of underwater weeds costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to eradicate. It's not like you can just go down there with a lawnmower.
3-4 divers in the water, 8 hours at a time, hand pulling weeds one by one.
Tahoe's been fighting and never quite winning the war against these weeds since the 1980s. It's become a multi-million-dollar problem each year. And that's a potent reminder. Each new species of plant or animal in the lake can disrupt the conditions that keep it blue. Collectively, we have the power to stop invasive species from spreading in and out of Tahoe, making sure everything we put in the water, paddleboards, boats, even our beach toys and shoes, making all of that clean, drained, and dry can give us a chance. In South Lake Tahoe, Brandon Rittiman, ABC 10 News.